In the summer of 2026, I came across this wrecked motorcycle at a scrapyard in Yangu County. At first glance, it looked completely destroyed. The wheels were badly bent, the rims were cracked, and the exhaust sounded like it might even be made of titanium. The engine case had 2 large holes, but surprisingly, the engine itself still looked mostly complete. Something about this bike told me it wasn't an ordinary motorcycle, but a powerful high-displacement machine that deserved another chance. The scrapyard owner sold it to me for 7.5 yuan per kilogram, and with a total weight of 244 jin, I brought it home. If I can restore it to its former glory, I might even make a 5-figure profit. The exhaust rear seat and fuel tank are all badly damaged, but the heart of the bike still looks promising. Most people would have walked away from a project like this, but I saw potential where others only saw scrap. Every legendary restoration starts with a machine that everyone else has given up on. So put on your gloves because the real restoration begins now. Just look at the front suspension. One fork is completely smashed through and the other is badly bent. The impact must have been incredibly violent, and if the rider wasn't wearing a proper helmet, the outcome could have been tragic. Even the inverted front forks were destroyed. On the bright side, the exhaust really does appear to be made of titanium, making it one of the few valuable parts left on this bike. We managed to get the large fuel tank with it. Hopefully the damage is not worse than it already looks. Most of the damaged parts have already been removed from the bike. I also discovered that the mainframe is made entirely of aluminum alloy. The build quality and materials are genuinely impressive. However, the wiring at the front is badly damaged. After sitting unused for so many years, we need to repair the damaged wires by wrapping and insulating them for now. The only problem is that the key is missing, but that is not a big deal. A lock like this is easy for me to handle. It pops open with just a quick flick. If you ever lose your vehicle key, just give me a call and I will come rescue you. Now that the power is connected, I want to try starting the bike. As soon as I touched the positive terminal, I got a good sign because the rear light was still working, even though its housing was badly damaged, and the front horn also made some noise despite sounding rough. At this point, I feel like we may have found ourselves a real bargain. Oh shit, what the hell is this? Oh my god. What's wrong with this? Well, that is just great. There is still a short circuit somewhere on this bike, and now the repair has become even more complicated. That wire was probably the cause of the short circuit because it started giving off yellow smoke. I still cannot tell whether it is a short circuit or a wire grounding out, and I have no idea where the fault is. So I took everything apart again and checked every wire one by one. I really thought this time the problem would finally be gone. Now it is leaking oil again. The good news is that the engine still turns over, which means it is not seized internally. However, it is leaking badly from multiple places. I think the best option is to remove the engine and inspect it first. If the engine is still in good condition, we will continue restoring the entire bike. But if the engine is beyond repair, we might as well scrap it and sell it as aluminum. After removing the handlebars, I discovered they are hollow inside, which shows how aggressively this bike was designed to save weight. Even so, the engine is still incredibly heavy. Back when I was younger, I could lift an engine like this out without any trouble. From what I can see, the oil filter and the side cover only have some minor damage, so we may have found a real bargain after all. You keep saying we found a hidden gem, but I never believe it. Trust me, this time it really is. Go grab me a new oil filter and I will replace it first. I have a little surprise for you after that. After sending my buddy home, I got back to work on the engine. I started by removing the leaking oil filter and then took off the damaged side cover. The oil filter was in pretty rough condition, but replacing it with a new one would be easy. The side cover, however, was completely beyond repair. The good news was that the inside of the engine looked incredibly clean, which convinced me even more that we had scored an amazing deal. I bought a replacement side cover from the parts market, but to my surprise, it had been repaired with glue. I also picked up the front section of the exhaust, and those 2 parts alone cost us another 960 yuan. Without wasting any time, I removed the ignition coil and pulled out the spark plugs. They looked to be in decent condition. Next, I checked the engine compression, because if the compression is within spec, it means the engine is still in great shape. The compression is over 10, which is an excellent sign. And this engine should have plenty of power. Since the compression is strong, we can reconnect the wiring harness, plug everything back in, and hook up an external fuel tank. Now this engine has everything it needs to come back to life. It is finally time to try starting it, so wish us luck. The engine cranks, but it refuses to start. Under normal circumstances, it already has fuel and power, so it should be running by now. Could it still be an electrical problem? I pulled out the spark plug and grounded it against the engine to test for spark. Sure enough, there was no spark at all, which means the problem is somewhere in the electrical system. The bike was crashed so badly that many of the front components are missing. I started tracing the wiring one wire at a time from the back to the front. I suspected the missing instrument cluster might be preventing the ignition from working, so I bought a replacement gauge cluster. That part alone cost us more than 800 yen. Unfortunately, it turned out to be money wasted because the engine still had no spark. I was completely out of ideas and had no clue how to fix it, so I put the project on hold. The bike sat there for more than 10 days until I finally found the factory service manual. That is when I discovered there was an anti-theft module mounted at the front of the bike. Since it was missing, the ignition system could not produce any spark. I bypassed the anti-theft circuit by making a direct connection to the ECU. Everything should finally be working now. Here we go. Finally, we have power. The spark plug is producing a strong spark again. I quickly reinstalled the ignition coil, connected the wiring, and hooked up the external fuel tank with proper fuel pressure. Now the engine has both fuel and spark, so everything is ready. It is time to try starting it. Wish us luck. Holy shit! Yeah! Oh my goodness! What is going on? How did this happen? The engine can finally start now, but I think this bike still has some underlying mechanical issues that need to be sorted out. Even though this bike has been through a lot, it should not be running like this. I've kicked over engines much tougher than this before, so I know something is not right. At least we can now confirm that the engine itself is perfectly healthy. The remaining problems are with the rest of the bike. Now it is time to strip the entire motorcycle down and remove every damaged and worn out part before we begin rebuilding it. Once the rear wheel comes off, the bike will be completely stripped down. Now it is time to use dry ice blasting to remove all the grease, dirt, and grime from every part of the motorcycle. The dirt and grime on the frame and wheels came off fairly easily, but the fuel tank was a completely different story. It had a huge dent, and large sections of the paint were already peeling away. When I pulled off the traction pad on the side of the tank, it ripped off another big patch of paint. Around the fuel cap, I found an unusually thick layer of body filler, which was a clear sign that this bike had been involved in more than one serious crash. I heated the paint with a heat gun and carefully scraped it away, layer by layer, removing several coats of old paint. This bike has really been through a lot. To repair the large dent, I used a dent pulling machine to slowly reshape the metal before placing the tank into the sandblasting cabinet to strip it down to bare metal and remove every trace of rust and old paint. That is when I discovered someone had actually cut the fuel tank open in the past and welded it back together. Now the only proper solution is to re-weld those damaged sections using a high-quality TIG welder. And trust me, you will want to wear your welding glasses for this part. Once the fuel tank was fully welded, I coated it with epoxy primer to protect it from rust. After that, I applied body filler to restore its original shape. The next coat was a primer surfacer to create a smooth foundation for the paint. Then, I sprayed the tank in Kawasaki factory green, followed by a layer of yellow pearl to achieve the correct finish. Finally, I sealed everything with a high-gloss clear coat. With the paint complete, the fuel tank could be set aside to cure. Next, I mixed a small amount of bright red pigment into the resin coating and sprayed it onto the repaired areas to completely cover every trace of the previous damage. With that, all of the remaining parts had been repaired and refinished. The fresh paint looked absolutely flawless with a deep mirror-like shine. Now everything was ready for the final high-temperature baking process to fully cure and seal the finish. Working inside the paint booth in this weather was exhausting, but this bike deserved every bit of the effort. The bright red frame looked stunning, and the Kawasaki green fuel tank with its yellow pearl finish sparkled beautifully under the light. I even recreated the decals in a bold red color to give the bike a unique look. Hopefully they'll add a bit of value to the bike. With every part cleaned, restored, and fully cured, it was finally time to put the entire motorcycle back together. After applying the ZX-14 decals, this legendary motorcycle we rescued from the scrapyard was finally fully restored. It looks absolutely stunning. In China, this bike is known as the six-eyed demon. Just look at the paintwork, it turned out beautifully. If your bike ever needs a fresh paint job, be sure to bring it to me. It definitely will not be free. And the best part is that this bike now starts and runs perfectly. This bike looks absolutely stunning and feels like it has been brought back to life. And out of all the motorcycles behind me, this one has the largest engine with a massive 1,400 cubic centimeters displacement. Come on, let's take this beast out for a proper test ride. Wow, this bike is seriously impressive. No way I have to give it another run. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos.